Man, I'm back on the air. First Don Miller broadcast. Since that ass whooping.
Oh.
Man, last week, that was my grandma said, if you don't get your ass in this house, you gonna get a natural ass whooping. That was a natural ass whooping. Hello, everybody. Again, thank you for popping in tonight. The Don Miller Show, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time at The Don Miller Show on YouTube. Shout out to my man, Phil, the podcast doctor. Appreciate you so much, bro. It's just me and you tonight, baby.
Let's do it.
Everybody else taking a little vacation. I'm going to start my vacation tomorrow. Just kind of scoot away from the nonsense, but it's just so much to get to. Again, thanks all of our people who support this show, all of our listeners from all over the country. Shout out to my boy, Felix at Flex Auto, for supporting the broadcast. We thank you so much. Robbie at the Vineyard Wine Company and beautiful, beautiful Vineyard Wine Company in Lake Mary, Florida. My friends, oh my goodness, at Casa Leon Jewelers in Lake Mary, Florida. That's my family, of course. And so thank you so much, everybody, for just really getting behind us, supporting what we do, and engaging in the lively art of conversation. Tonight is going to be one of them conversations. Oh, I couldn't wait to get myself here. Last week was the presidential election, and months and months and months, 2 years ago, before I went over there to the radio station, I told Phil, and we're going to find that tape, that Joe Biden wouldn't make it till the end.
Yeah.
And he did make it to the end. But never in my wildest dreams did I think they would replace Joe Biden with a bumbling, ridiculous-ass person like that lady, Ms. Harris. I never thought, there was never a moment. I didn't think he was going to make it because the people I know up there were saying it was a struggle and Joe was declining rapidly, so I got that. And I said to you, Phil, and D'Amica Page, and Holly Holloman, and all the listeners who have tuned in on Florida Man Radio and the Panhandle and all over the country who listen to me Monday through Friday. Hey, Adley, how are you? From 10 to 2, I told everybody he's not going to make it. But never did I think he would be replaced with her. And the reason is that everybody in the circle politically in this country, especially at the hierarchy of the Democratic Party, knew that she was always a joke. She was a joke in the first place because Joe jumped out there in his underwear and said, I'm going to bring a black woman in. And he brought her in, and she brought no value to that ticket. And now, of course, when they scoot him out, because of the big money, because it was not because of her, because of the money that they would have lost, she became the nominee. And never in the history of the American political system have we had someone go to the microphone to be a president of the United States that was inept as this woman. You can like me if you want to. That's on you. But I am telling you, I have never seen anything so damn ridiculous. And shame on the Democratic Party. Shame on the Democratic Party for not at least having an open primary. That's what Barack wanted. Joe was so mad at him when they played him raw because Joe didn't know till he knew. This is why Joe immediately ran out and endorsed her, because Joe knew that him immediately endorsing her shut down any opportunity for anybody else to get in. And this is what we saw, because he never liked her. He never, ever wanted her talking. You saw that for 4 years, Phil. We never saw this lady for 4 years. She went from being a meme to being the vice president, the presidential nominee. Mm-hmm. People were like, well, where is she? On all the channels, she was a meme. Where is she? So here you go. She jumps out there. She's the nominee. And we should have all been embarrassed when they pushed her to the microphone. And I get it, black folk. Black folk, we just so desperate to have one. We will embrace anybody. You ain't got to be really one of us. If you just might have some pigmentation that falls along the lines of us because of what we feel like, what the hand we feel like we've been dealt, we just embrace it. This lady's history with the Negro was just as bad as Joe Biden's history with the Negro, Phil. Go look. But because she went to a black college, shout out to the Howard University Bison, HBCU, my best friend, my little brother, my big brother, whatever we are, my brother, Matthew Seibel. He is a graduate of Howard University Medical School. He's my friend. I love you so much, Matt. I love you, Denise. I love the children. Not children anymore. Go ahead.
We got a bunch of people watching on YouTube.
Yep.
And they need to be saying hello.
Okay, let them say hello. What are we doing?
Say hello, guys, in the chat.
Okay, just pop in the chat. I know it's a lot of y'all watching. Just say hello. Subscribe and like. That's what they tell me to tell y'all is to subscribe and like. I'm sorry, my phone just rang. I thought I turned it off. I got to figure out how to turn my phone off. But we got to get to a lot of stuff today because when I started saying that this lady had no chance, I was attacked. And people told me I had no idea what I was talking about. I just understood that, and this was amazing. I understood that once the American people had a conversation with her, because most people had never heard her really engage in a conversation. For 4 years, nobody knew her, right, Phil?
Yeah, for real.
And then you scoot her out there after you're forced because they did a great job. Hey, Shane Reeve, man, I love you, brother. Shane was my general manager and my boss at Florida Man Radio. He gave me a chance at Florida Man Radio. Hey, Dave.
Oh, what's up, Shane?
Shane, you know Shane.
No, we never met,
Oh, man, Shane was my boss at Florida Man Radio. He's the GM. He gave me a chance. I appreciate you so much. And so they brought this Erlene, my friend. Hey, Erlene, how are you? So they brought this lady in with 4 months to go. It was really a coup. You can't call it what you want, but it was a coup because Joe actually did know. I hope somebody comes out and tells the story at some point. Joe had no idea they were going to get him. So they get Joe. Joe finds out they got him. Joe says, okay, I'm going to show you. And Joe gets them back by immediately endorsing her before they could quickly move to have an open primary at the convention, an open convention, right? So now you're stuck with her. So for 18, 19, 20 days, she says not one word. And then she goes to the microphone.
It was like 24 days.
And then the American people said, what the hell? Who is this? How is she a VP? And then we understood the games that are played in the business of politics. Because that's what it is. It's politics, and it's not politics. So listen. Just give me a minute. I'm going to talk to you about what I've been watching. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. I encourage you not to. But you better have some facts. This lady was a horrible candidate. Now, you take this lady, 4 months to go, horrible candidate. Then you put the narrative that they were pushing, attach that to not a good candidate. Listen to me. LGBT are angry because the transgender community is ruining it for them. So now you're pushing this transgender boys and girls sports. Now you push it. Look, I want to just say this for the next cycle. I'm going to say this on behalf of the people that I talk to every day and the poll numbers and the exit poll numbers and the people who voted this cycle, more than 60 million. Y'all got to take abortion off the ticket. Abortion ain't working anymore. You can call it abortion. You can call it reproductive rights. It just ain't working anymore. Transgender hurt you guys. Transgender abortion, take it off the ticket. Go regroup if you want to stay in the game. Because right now, depending on what happens with this president, Democrats could be in trouble for a long time. You have to figure out what the people want. And the people wanted to hear about the economy. And when I heard her, listen to this, and many people say this was the end of her campaign to a lot, and there were a lot of Americans torn on this one, in the middle of the conversation on this one. When she went on The View, and Sunny Hostile, what's her name? Hostile. Sunny Hostin. She's hostile. Sunny Hostile asked her this question. Phil, you got that for me?
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Stop it. Let me just say something. There's not a thing I would do different than a president that numbers are in the 30s. This lady was not prepared. They set her up. They knew this. Joe knew it more than anybody. So you got a president in the 30s. His numbers, his ratings are in the 30s. As they would say where I come from, he was in the shitter, right? The guy's numbers are in the shitter. And you go on a show and they ask you, what would you do different? Well, first I would pivot immediately toward the economy and hear what the American people are saying. She says nothing? Where y'all get her from? Phil, she said I wouldn't do nothing. I'd keep doing what we're doing, running the country.
Nothing different.
I want to be in the 30s with my president. Come on. So many people think that was it for her. I don't know if that was it for her. I think the fact that people saw this lady fail every time there was a camera in front of her. She did a town hall meeting with Anderson Cooper, who is protected class. He's gay and he's a white guy. He's protected class. He's a rich gay white, but he's still a protected class. And he's one of her people. And Andy got rubbed the wrong way and went after her. The only person that didn't go after her on an interview was Reverend Al Sharpton, the fake preacher. The fake preacher. Y'all remember that lying-ass, fake-ass preacher, Reverend Al Sharpton? And let's guess why he didn't. Do me a favor. Put that picture up for me, man. So Al Sharpton got $500,000 from the Harris campaign before she did his interview. 500. There were two checks. They went out, two checks at $250 apiece. I got the dates on the checks. I can actually show you the checks, right? Because there's this thing called FEC, Federal Elections Commission, where every penny that goes out of the campaign has to be accounted for and reported to the feds. So Al Sharpton, his National Action Network, which is a con, got $500,000 from her before he went on, and he, because of that, just tossed her some softball questions. Fast forward, America is still struggling. People can't shop. Gas is high. It's a struggle for the American people. And you guys are out here. And then she decided it was a good idea to take this $250 million a month, if you average it. They raised $1.8 billion in 4 months. $1.8 billion. Phil, that's enough money to get everybody in the country a few dollars.
Heck yeah.
But they decided it was a good idea to take this money, spend $4 million on private jets, $100 million on marketing. If you go to opensecrets.org, that is one of my favorite websites. It tells you where the money's going and where the money's coming from. From June 23rd to October 16th, January 23rd to October 16th, they raked in $990 million. Woo. They spent every penny, and just the other day we find out that they're $20 million in debt. And some people hadn't gotten paid their last check. And you want her to run your country. Everybody who voted for this lady, shame on you. Now, I get it for the people in her sorority, all the women in the sorority. I get it. That's some sisterhood. That's fine. Go do that. That's okay. Y'all go on over there and do that. That's sisterhood. But to you clowns who tell me you're educated, you're smart, why did you vote for her? And for these people who talk about their relationship with Jesus and these ignorant ass black pastors who stood up in their pulpits and supported this, while every other commercial when I'm up in the morning trying to get ready to go work for somebody is pushing abortion. But you got these ignorant ass black pastors all over the country saying we got to support her. You're pushing your people, your congregation of non-learned individuals to engage in something that the book that you have in front of you is adamantly against. The killing of... Anyway, this was a horrible situation. Go Go ahead, man. What'd you say?
I said, preach, say it.
No, it's amazing to me when I watch these pastors, people like that weird pastor who got 4 kids or 5 kids out of wedlock up in Atlanta, weirdo with the tight ass pants on. You remember his name. Anyway, the problem is they were pushing people toward this conversation, even though it's against the book that you show up every Sunday and engage in that conversation. Come on. We got to do better to be better. So all of a sudden, she's the nominee. This is great. They're cheering in the streets. People are crying. You know, they're pushing not the LGBT, because the LGBT, the LGBT ain't happy, Phil. I don't know if I sent you that video. LGBT ain't happy, right?
No.
So the LGBT, they ain't happy. So the LGBT don't want nothing to do with it, because they're saying, we got what we wanted some years ago. All we wanted, this is what they say. They say all we wanted was marriage equality. But that we don't want children to be learning about stuff that is inappropriate. So fast forward, the narrative is riding down the street. And now the money starts coming in. Millions and millions and millions of dollars, to the tune of $1 billion. They decide they want to get, this is why black people, I'm ashamed of some of you Negroes. Black people, they think, okay, well, we get these black people, we need to go out and get some of these entertainers. So they go out and get Quavo and
Eminem,
Beyonce. What's the little prostitute?
Meg Thee Stallion.
No, the prostitute that used to drug the men and rob them. Cardi B.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And so they go out and pay these people to go on. Cardi B introduced, on the stage with the potential president of the United States. The week prior to Cardi B being on the stage with Vice President Harris, she was back and forth on social media with her baby daddy, talking about who she had sex with while she was pregnant with his child. She also told such baby daddy that she had sex with his dead friend. What's his dead friend name? I can't remember.
Takeoff.
Yeah. But why is somebody like this on the stage with somebody running for president? Because this is how out of touch these people were. Nobody, if you know people, if you're in touch with, the people who follow her probably are not voters.
Or they can't vote.
Or they can't vote, right? It's just amazing how you taking $1 billion at a crisis time in this country and you throw it out the window. And it's interesting, there's a wonderful lady by the name of Lindy Lee, wonderful lady, really sharp lady. She is on the Democratic Finance Committee for the DNC. She's on the Finance Committee. Pretty high-ranking member of the Finance Committee. I think she raised probably $20 million. She raised a lot of money for this campaign. She's raised a lot of money for several years. Sharp lady, Harvard, Princeton, I think. And she's so teed off. She is on the circuit now telling the story. I want to play this clip from Lindy Lee.
DNC Woman's Chair and Harris surrogate Lindy Lee joining us now. Nancy Pelosi making the case to sort of blame Joe Biden, but it's a backhanded compliment because she's blaming Joe Biden, allowing Kamala Harris to be the nominee.
And what's left unsaid is that she is not forcefully saying that Harris would have been the strongest candidate after a rigorous process. She's not saying definitively that it would have been her. She says it might have been her. Maybe there was an alternative. Maybe it was Josh Shapiro or maybe Gretchen Whitmer, someone who could forcefully litigate the case against Donald Trump. And if you truly believe that Trump is an existential threat, and that's what Democrats have been saying for the past couple of years, then you should have had that process instead of just coronating somebody.
What has been the relationship throughout the campaign, and what do you think the relationship is today between Biden world and Kamala Harris world?
Well, I have friends, in both worlds, and let me tell you, the relationship was terrible even before the campaign. There was backstabbing. They wanted to hand her the least favorable agenda, legislative priorities. She was stuck with immigration, civil rights, none of that went anywhere.
Before she was even a candidate,
exactly.
You're saying,
And
as vice president.
there was a lot of backstabbing we saw in the press. People were leaking stuff all the time. The White House was leaking like a sieve. naive when it came to Kamala Harris. And finally, in the final year, she was able to stabilize and stop the bleeding of her staff because there was a lot of turnover as well. And we saw the press reports about that. And things have finally started to calm down. And I actually think President Biden endorsing her 30 minutes after he dropped out, I think that was a big FU to the party. You know, you don't.
Thank you so much. Now, you hear what she just said? Him endorsing her 30 minutes after he dropped out was a FU to the party because that didn't allow them to maneuver probably the way they wanted to. They were stuck with her. The problem is there were people who jumped in and gave a lot of money, Phil. A lot of money. This lady cared nothing about you people. All you people who gave the $5 and the $10 and the $100 and the 20,000 alleged black men that they say were on a call one night and they raised a bunch of money. She didn't care about you. She treated you like she should have treated you because you engaged without knowledge. Whenever you engage without knowledge, EWK, I've been saying it for years. Please don't engage without knowledge because you're going to get got. This lady had her own agenda. She wasn't thinking about you. She could care less, for sure. And now you're looking at this. $1 billion raised, $20 million in debt, people not getting their last checks, and all this money went all over the place. And think about this. Harpo Productions, which is Oprah's company, correct?
Yep.
What they got $1 million, and they say, well, it was $1 million for production or whatever it was for. Why does Oprah need money? But they didn't care. Look, I said the other day, this was a giant money grab. And I believe it was a giant money grab because how do you spend this much money and lose every battleground state? Oof. How do you spend $1 billion in 4 months and lose every battleground state? Can't win one with $1 billion? They raised 3 times the amount of money Trump raised in the last 4 months. 3 times. This is my question to people who jumped out there, who's probably still, because they're sending out emails now that she's raising money for some legal fund. And I was reading an article that said, oh, the legal fund is going to contest the vote.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they get raising money for Kamala Harris' legal fund because they want to contest the vote.
Bro, it wasn't even close.
Again, listen to me. But to the unlearned person, this is what I'm giving everybody. I'm giving everybody this book, Phil. Right here, put it on the screen. I'm getting all y'all get this book for Christmas. Politics for Dummies. Because I am so tired of talking to you people who think you know, don't know anything about the Electoral College, don't know your congressman, you don't know your city councilman or your ward boss, you don't know, but you want to engage in a conversation about who's going to be president or not. The fact of the matter is when you engage without knowledge, you fail every time. Every time. Okay, there are people. Somebody just said she loved black people. She loved us. She went to Howard. She's an AKA. Somebody just sent me that.
Really?
Yeah. So the other night, election night, the announcement was supposed to be on the beautiful college of Howard University in beautiful D.C. I love Howard University. Go Bison. I love Howard University. It's a great school. Spent a lot of time on that campus. There was a lot of 10s on that campus when I was a young man.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good campus to be on. So she go to Howard. There are thousands of people waiting to hear her come out and tell them something. Thousands of people in the night. Got a chill over the night. It's November in D.C. And this is what she did.
Good evening, Howard. Good evening, HU. I want to say good evening to all of the Harris campaign, the campaign family. Thank you for all that you have done. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in the promise of America. We still have votes to count. We still have states that have not been called yet. We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice has spoken. So you won't hear from the vice president tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow. She will be back here tomorrow to address not only the HU family, not only to address her supporters, but to address the nation. So thank you. We believe in you. May God bless you. May God keep you.
Hey, Phil.
Bro.
She didn't even come out there and tell them people bye.
Did
She sent a nobody, Cedric Richmond. Don't nobody know him.
Dude, the audience, you can see, you can hear.
There's been people standing out there in the cold, Phil.
Oh my God, I'm embarrassed.
She sent this dude that don't nobody know. Send one of them celebrities out. Make them do a jig. You just paid them. You know what I mean? Send Quavo out. Send somebody. Send one of them Lil Jane, Lil Wayne, Lil somebody. She sent Cedric Richmond out there to tell them people, we already at the party. Y'all can go home now.
How do you think she told him? Like,
She probably was zooted out of her mind. She probably was wasted. Listen to me, sir, Mr. Sir. Make sense of her seeing thousands of people on the campus of Howard University waiting to hear from her that night. She knew it was a wrap. They didn't have to wait till tomorrow. Everybody in America, especially those people with these high-level, these internal polls, right? The external polls were all a joke. It was never tied. It was never close. But they had the American people sending in money because we were right up on the wire. We need $50 more. It was a giant money grab. And you took money from people who need their money. And then you had the audacity to not come to the microphone and take the L. You send somebody out that nobody knows, nobody wanted to see, to tell them poll numbers are still coming in. They knew at that moment, Phil, that it was over. They knew it was over. That is the level of disrespect. At some point, people, you got to stop taking. And I'll play the race card one moment, may I? If that was a white person, they'd have burnt that city up. Oof. If that was a white person with all them Negroes hanging on to every word she has said, even though it's been word salad most of the time. And you send somebody out there. These people gave you their money. These young college kids were given $20. You know what $20 is to a college kid?
It's a week worth of ramen.
And you send somebody out to tell them, nothing to see here, we'll come talk to y'all tomorrow. At what point does it change? At what point does it change? At what point do we say to ourselves, this is just not okay? At what point do we stop letting our enemy pick our enemy? 94% of black women voted for her. She don't even like you guys. Okay, maybe the AKAs, maybe so, Phil. But think about this. Every time we've had a president, every time we've had a president, Phil, we've been able at some point to see who that president's friends were, right? This is my best buddy, Mike. He's been with me since 8th grade, 7th grade. Think about it. I remember George Bush bringing a guy out one day. This is my buddy. I remember Barack Obama playing ball with all his buddies from Chicago because I knew all of them, right? He made one of the Department of Education, put one over the Department of Education. So at least we saw some guys that he said was his friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see her best friend?
No, but I did see greens in the tub.
Did you ever see her best friend? Did anybody ever see her best friend? Think about this. I could tell you who Michelle Obama's best friends are. They're probably still her best friends. The same chicks, same girls, same ladies. Barack had his buddies he played ball with. Thanks so much, Doug. The problem is this lady never showed up with a friend that was her friend from childhood. Yet you thought that you were attached to her. We have to do better. We have to do better. We're confused. They have played the race card, this identity politics. I'm so glad it's going. Yay for Donald Trump. Congratulations to Donald Trump. Congratulations. I couldn't tell you enough, Mr. Trump, sir, how glad I am that you are the president of the United States. Not because yay for Mr. Trump, but because I am ready to turn the corner on identity politics and ridiculous ass wokeness. I'm ready to turn the corner on transgenderism and driving the narrative of boys playing in girls sports. I'm ready to turn the corner. Phil, I just sent you something, man. And I'm just ready to turn the corner. I'm ready to turn the corner. We got to regroup and get it right. I'm ready to turn the corner. I'm not disrespecting women. Look, I don't even think men should be having the conversation about a woman's body. I don't even know why abortion's in the conversation. Hopefully after this, it won't be. It didn't work out for you guys because women voted heavily for Trump. Call it reproductive rights if you want. Change the name to come back next cycle, have another name for it. You can go change the name for transgenderism, have another name for it. But the fact of the matter is the people are concerned about how they're going to live and eat and provide for their families. And until that becomes the forefront of the conversation, then people are going to vote for Donald Trump and people like Donald Trump. So to the Democrats who they really fumbled the bag. They fumbled the bag at a level I ain't never seen the bag fumble that. This was the biggest giant bag fumble I've ever seen. But you put a terrible candidate out, and you got played by Joe Biden. Joe did this. Had Joe not jumped out and said, I endorse her, they would have had time to go to Chicago to the convention and probably pick another candidate. But this is what happened when you play those games. Finally, it's over. I'm going to pivot real quick to Donald Trump and say congratulations again. People are asking me, what's Donald Trump going to do and yada, yada, yada. So far, I like what he's done thus far in terms of the cabinet. I have one issue that I'm looking at that I'm a little concerned about, and that's about Matt Gaetz as the Attorney General. I have some concerns about that for a number of reasons, but we'll see what happens with that. But other than that, I don't see any major concern that I have. I love Susie Wiles. I've always thought Susie Wiles was amazing. Her days in Jacksonville and in Tallahassee and at Ballard. She's always been she's a great Floridian. She don't want to be in front of the camera. For those who said Donald Trump was anti-woman, he has the first female chief of staff in the history of the American presidency. And he's already picked 3 women for the cabinet. So guess that didn't work out for y'all who said he was anti-woman. For those who said he hated Hispanics, he already beat you on that. So just relax. And look, see, the problem with a lot of people, you don't know how to take the L. Sometimes in life, you just got to take the L.
Yeah.
You know, taking the L don't make you soft. Oftentimes, I could tell you when I had to take the L, I became a better person. And I learned from it. People who voted overwhelmingly or supported or sent their money in, there are a lot of people that feel like they just got.
I believe so.
You know, because they got them.
And we didn't have anybody else.
But again, when you see where this money went to the places where this $1 billion went, like putting Beyonce on the stage to talk about reproductive rights, how many votes did that get you? How many votes did Cardi B get you on the stage or Eminem? How many votes did Eminem get you? Celebrities, in the words of Malcolm X, they're not leaders. They're not leaders. Stop it. But this is how this lady was. Black people, I want y'all to hear me on this. I want all the white people just don't say nothing right now. Just stop. This is absolutely for the black people that are listening to this broadcast. I'm not saying Kamala Harris wasn't black. I don't think that's a conversation. we need to have anymore because that was a conversation. I could tell you this. She's black adjacent, okay? She's black adjacent because if she was black, she would know for sure what would work and what would not work. And whoever the black people in her clique was, in her circle, would have told her or had the ability to tell her, sometimes if you ain't close to power, you can't speak to power, right? Ma'am, that ain't a good idea. A lot of folks see Cardi B as a low-level trick-off.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
There was nobody who told her, Cardi B ain't gonna get you no votes. And she's really ignorant. And for those people who don't know who Cardi B is,
Good.
actually. Yeah, but it's really important that I say this. This is amazing to me. And I wanted to spend time on this tonight for a number of reasons, guys. Because we got to call it like we see it. Look, I just got kicked off of radio, and what had nothing to do with my man, my general manager. If he had a job in radio today, he'd hire me back. I know he would. But I just kind of believe that I got some other things I could be doing. And so if I'm coming in here, I want you to understand one thing. I'm going to tell you the truth. And the fact is this. If you thought that this lady had any kind of attachment to you, then you're a clown because this lady didn't know you. Her actions told all of you that she didn't know you. And by placing people that we, as grown black folk, as adults feel, we grown folks see Cardi B and them pretty, like real grown people. She's horrible. She talked in her broken English dialect about dropping drugs in men's drink. And then robbing them as they fell asleep. Right? Why is she even, Secret Service, get her out of here. And then the night after she did the speech, Phil, you got what I just sent you?
I got the first one.
No, I just sent you something else.
Yeah,
the night after she did that speech,
Hang on.
the same night, she goes on the stage and she introduces the vice president, the presidential nominee on the Democratic ticket. And she goes on, the teleprompter breaks, she loses her mind because I think she's a third grade reading level. I could see her at a third grade reading level. I knew some third grade reading level strippers.
All right, I got it.
The night after she goes on international, it was aired all over the country, all over the world. They were following this race. A friend of mine in Germany sent me a message. Black guy from Chicago, been in Germany 26 years. He sent me a message. And the message said, what the hell, Cardi B? That was the message he sent me. The night after she was on the stage with the vice president, presidential nominee, she goes home and makes this video.
I work so hard, bro. I work so hard on my speech. And a lot of y'all talking about like, oh, why you reading it from a phone? Bitch, I had to write that shit down because I had to make, bitch, I'm 32 years old, bitch. And I have 3 kids. My mind be fucking raising all goddamn day, bitch. Like, it's like sometimes, bitch, I be arguing on my shower, like fucking rehearsing what I'm gonna tell niggas when I see them.
Get her out of here. Get her out of here.
Oh, my God.
Get her out of here. That's my grandma saying. That's directly after she was on the stage with the presidential nominee. Why was she up there? Because this is how out of touch and desperate they were. They had internal polling, and the internal polling was telling them who wasn't coming. Black men weren't overwhelmingly coming, and they keep saying, well, most black men voted, but you don't need most black men. There's a margin of black men that can turn it. And those black men, that 20+% or whatever the number was, I shout you brothers out. Because knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. Frederick Douglass said that. So I shout those guys out who said enough's enough. But you go get Cardi B and you put her on the stage.
You know that Kamala did not like her. Oh, come on.
Come on. Well, guess what? Well, Kamala should have fired whoever brought that trick on the stage. But that was, dude, she leaves the event and she records a video talking like that. How ignorant is that? She probably never been to a political event in her life. Let me see your voter registration card.
Oh.
Right? But this is what we're doing, guys. And I'm so glad that Donald Trump won because maybe this will turn the tide. Black folk, the Democrats been dumping on you and treating you like a $2 whore. Let's turn the corner. You're right, Earlene. We got to do better. And we got to raise our hand, especially the black community. We got to raise our hand and say these words that I had to say one day. You know, I always got a story to tell y'all. Got a story to tell y'all. Never forget this. You ever had to tell somebody when things was going south, I ain't with him?
I don't know this guy.
Huh?
I don't know him.
Dude, I was out one night with a friend of mine and his brother. And the dude's brother, the dude's brother was clowning, man. And they came upon us to whoop some ass. And some said to me, you better tell him. And I immediately told him, I ain't with him. Right? I wasn't saying nothing. I was enjoying the evening. He mouthing off, talking about what he gonna do. I ain't with him. And we got to be okay saying I ain't with them I ain't with Cardi B. You know, and the white folk, I like white people. Sometimes y'all just be doing too much too. The white people, they don't know who the hell she is. They just know she a Democrat. They out in the audience talking about Carly. Like, no, Cardi. You know, they Carly. Hey, what does she do? She's a singer. What's your song? What's your song? You know, some of them thought she was the girl who played the piano that don't want nothing at all. Just want you, baby. You know what I mean? What's her name?
Oh my God.
What's her name? The girl. Some people want it all.
Alicia Keys.
Yeah, I heard some people talk about, man, did you see Alicia? That wasn't Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys is a lady, okay? She's a very well-groomed, professional, intelligent lady. That wasn't a lady. That was Cardi B. She's got her own little box. She sings about her vagina. You know what I mean?
That WAP.
The vice president of the United States of America, the nominee for president, has a young lady on the stage who had a hit song about her vagina being moist.
Bro, you didn't know that was going to be her new Hail to the Chief song.
We got to do better, y'all. I'm amazed that nobody was like, oh, that's totally inappropriate. And I think there were some people who said it, just didn't want to say it out loud.
I saw some Dems that were saying that, like when Meg Thee Stallion went on stage the first time, like, well, we didn't need that.
First of all, you bring Meg Thee Stallion on the stage, right? Mm-hmm. And she twerks. Like, at what point is pandering like, you know what I mean? Well, no more pandering. Why didn't I see it? I want to ask this question. Give us a call. Let's take a call real quick. All right. Put the number on the screen.
Okay.
You know what I would have loved to see? I would have loved to see if you just pandering to black folk. Why not go get Rosalind Brewer, beautiful, brilliant black woman, former CEO of Sam's Club, Starbucks, and Walgreens, or just somebody like that, or one of these type of people, right? Because they were not buying into it. So you go get the lowest level of individual to engage in the conversation about voting, and especially about, Adley says, Cardi B was a stripper that got her fame from Love and Hip Hop TV show. Thank you. I didn't even know that, Adley. But you go get somebody, a young lady, you want her to talk about reproductive rights when her biggest song was about her vagina and how many guys she's engaged in these acts with. That's the wrong person. But this is what happens when people don't know you and they come to talk to you.
We got a call.
Let's go to phone lines.
You're live. Who's this?
Hey, brother.
Hey.
This is Pat from Florilla.
Pap from
How you
Florilla.
doing?
Florilla, Alabama. How you doing, Pap?
Hey, bud, I'm doing good, man. I hear all this stuff coming on the airwaves, man. They're crazy as all get out, ain't they? They just they're about as dumb as a run over squirrel.
Run over skirt, pretty dumb, Pap.
Pap, do you know who Cardi B is?
I'll tell you, man. Do what now?
Do you know who Cardi B
What'd
is?
you say, brother? that was that young lady that you had on the TV, right? No, I don't know her. No, she's a pretty thing, but I have no idea who she is.
Well, thank you. Hey, Papa, you ain't got nothing to do up there in Florilla, Alabama. Just go listen to our song. It's called WAP.
WAP.
WAP. Just call us next week. Call us up and tell us what you think. Tell us what you think about it. Thank you, Pap. Pap, go listen to WAP. Pap gonna call back next week.
God.
Like, what the hell is WAP?
That's funny.
Oh, so again, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate. Hey, Anthony, how are you? Thank you so much for following, man. Subscribe and like, guys. Subscribe and like. We're trying to get the numbers up. Gary Carroll, love you, bro. Gary say I'm a great American. Thank you. Robert, reunion, man, missing all of us on Florida Man Radio. We miss you guys, too, and hopefully we got a plan. Doug, thank you so much. Doug said Oprah's check bounced. They cashed that check. Pat Robinson, glad to see you and hear you. Thank you so much. Man, look, I'm just saying, Kerry Hammond, Big Hammer, how you doing, man? Thank you so much, bro. So I'm just excited about what's getting ready to happen in terms of the Don Miller Show these next few weeks and months to come.
We got another call. I don't know if it's Pap or not, but
let's go back to the phone lines. Hey.
Who's this?
Hey, this is AJ, Walton County, Florida.
Hey, AJ from Walton County, Florida. You up there in the beautiful Panhandle.
What's going on, Mr. Don Miller?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Oh, man, I tell you, we finally cooled down. You know, we had about a week's worth of rain and had that cold front push through, and it's just a gorgeous full moon, and stars are out shining.
Hey, do you know who Cardi B is?
I miss your ass, Don Miller.
Hey, do you know who Cardi B is? Hey, do you know?
I know who Cardi. Yeah, I know what WAP is. I know what WAP is. You know, I don't particularly listen to that style of music, but you know, I mean, when it happens, I mean, you're on YouTube, right? So I curse.
Yeah, you curse.
Oh, you know, shit, just, you know, everybody threw their shit up into a wad. I mean, when that song come out.
Hey, man, thanks, AJ. Tell everybody up there in the Panhandle I said hello.
Oh, man, you need to get your ass up here, man. I don't know what the hell's going on between you, Jonathan Morris, and Shannon Burke, but, you know, I miss you being on his show. And, man, I just, like I said, man, politics suck.
All right, thank you so much, man. Thanks, AJ, man. We got a lot of people. Chat. I just got a message from Mike in Kosciuszko, Mississippi. He said he miss hearing us every day. Don should get a job with the Trump administration. Man, Don, Don can't.
Would you?
No. Actually, no. I can't work in a political environment.
Okay.
No, I have to get rid of Xantavius. You know what I mean? I can't get rid of Xantavius, man. We walk together, me and Xantavius. Xantavius will probably stop taking my phone calls, man, about to start working for the government.
Uh-oh.
Again, thank you again. So many people who have just stood by this conversation. Feel free, if you got anything you want us to talk about, you can drop us a message on any of the social media inbox platforms. We get ready to turn the corner, and next week we got a great show. We're going to be talking about some relationships and how politically some relationships have been affected. I got a young lady. I think she's going to come in. She wants to get back with her boyfriend that she broke up with because he voted for Trump.
Ooh.
And she said, can she come in and ask him to forgive her? So I think we're going to do that next week. Phil, when is your show on?
So we're actually going to be recording right after you leave. But you can find our show. It's called Gen, the number 2, and then Gen. It stands for Generation to Generation. We have, I'm a millennial, and my co-host is a Gen Zer, sorry. And we talk about all the topics that we clash on.
Okay.
So Gen to Gen.
So next week, we're going to have a great show. We're going to kind of turn the corner. But for those of my listeners who listen to the show, when we're on radio, you know, we go in different directions. We're going to kind of warm down on the politics, whatever pops up. Jacqueline Oliver, my mama loves your show. She makes the whole house be quiet when you come on. We all love listening to you. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. We really appreciate that. So the next week, we're going to have a good time. If this young lady comes in to beg her boyfriend to get back with her because she broke up with him because he voted for Trump, I'm cheering for him to tell her to kiss his ass, but we'll see what happens. you break up with me because of my political views, it's a wrap. And she really hurt this dude. Phil, you remember the story? She really hurt his feelings.
Is she hot?
Baby, she wasn't hot when he got with her.
Oh.
Okay. He got with her, put her on, did well by her, helped her finish school, and she decided that he was going to vote for Trump. She didn't want to be with him. And shout out to my friend Matthew Denny. I appreciate you so much, man. That's my buddy. He's listening. Shout out to Jeff at Corona Cigar and all of our friends over there. We really appreciate it. And my best buddy, Matthew Seibel and Denise, I love y'all so much. Quetta Jean Johnson from the Johnson family of absolutely ridiculous-ass behavior. They continue to engage in ridiculous-ass behavior every day. Who else?
Flex Auto.
Flex Auto, The Vineyard.
Yeah.
Gasoleon. Yes. Oh, my barbecue guy. What are you talking about? Joel at Brothers in Arms Barbecue. Thank you so much, Joel, man. As a matter of fact, I would try to catch up with you this weekend. And Jonathan Morris at Morganic Meats.
Can we do a podcast from the barbecue place?
Absolutely, we could do a podcast. We could go do a podcast while the barbecue's cooking, while we're testing and tasting First of all, no, you didn't want to do a podcast from the cigar place because you say you didn't want the equipment to smell like a cigar.
Well, I changed my mind on that. So.
Okay, but you don't mind it smelling like barbecue.
Barbecue, I'm down for.
Okay. Again, please follow Phil the Podcast Doctor. Shout out to D'Amica Page, who is out here grinding. It is that time of year where she's grinding. It's open markets or whatever they call it in the insurance. Open enrollment in the insurance industry. So she's out here grinding. Shout out to Holly Holloman. He is doing great, much better. We love you so much, Rosie. And we just want to tell everybody this is just so exciting to just come in and engage with the audience. Put the phone number back up. Let's take one more phone call. Okay. I want to talk to y'all, man. I miss y'all so much. I wish I could just hug all of y'all. Matt Denny said, what am I drinking? It looks like wine. Hey, tuning in from L.A., California, Don. Take the L. Hey, Brian, man. That's my boy, Brian. Brian, the marketing guru in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills. Veronica Davis. Oh, man, she was the president of the Don Miller Show fan club 15 years ago.
She said day one. She's a day oneer.
Brian is in Beverly Hills. He's a rich white. Oh. You know, you got to have at least one rich white in your family. You know, okay. So last week, Brian was in town, and we had a great glass of wine together. But he is a good man. He moved from Lake Mary to Beverly Hills. So he was rich white. Now he's rich whiter. You go from rich white to rich whiter. Yeah, thank you so much. Give us a call real quick. Drop in real quick before we get out of here. We got a few minutes to go.
352-717-4071. Say what's up.
So, Phil, we got a big show coming up next week. I'm working on it. I'll start working on it in the next few days.
All right,
go ahead.
We got a call. You're live on the air. Hello?
Yeah, I'm calling for Don Miller.
Who is this?
Oh, this is David G.
Hey, Dave. How you doing, man? Where you calling from?
I'm in Winter Springs.
How you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing great, man. I just wanted to say I was heartbroken when the station got sold.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pimp hand was strong, man. When they gave you the 4-hour slot, the Florida Man's Radio's pimp hand was strong.
Oh, thank you, man.
And
thank you, man.
So it's good to hear you. Hey, I just wanted to say that Jill Biden had the Marine Band put together the first ever entrance music for a first lady. And they actually wrote an original piece of music for that. I think the Harris campaign was intending to keep that tradition alive when they took office, and Emhoff's song was going to be WAP.
What is WAP, man?
WAP.
What's that WAP?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, you say the pimp hand was strong. What you know about the pimp hand, man?
All right, David.
Hey, man.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
I've been around a little bit.
I know. I hear it in your voice, baby.
Right.
Thank you so much, man.
All right.
Oh, man. Listen, man. You got these people, man. I love it.
That's what I say. They're going to replace the Hail to the Chief song.
I know, man. That WAP. I just got 2 people send me messages, and they want to know what WAP is. I don't know if I want to tell you. I don't use that kind of language on the air.
It's wet ass blank.
Yeah,
You can use the other word.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what, I don't like using those. Don, I dare you to talk about. Oh, yes. Okay, yes, I will be talking about that next week. Someone just wanted me to talk about Kamala Harris taking a hardcore dump on the young black lady who was running the party in Florida, running the campaign in Florida. And they want me to talk about that. I probably will drop that in because just to prove the point that she didn't like none of you Negroes. And but yeah, I'll get around to that next week. But we got a lot to talk about, so stay with us. We'll be back next week. Phil, man, I appreciate you so much. To all of the listeners, please subscribe and like. Tell your friends about the show. Tell your friends to subscribe and like. What the hell is G-Off? G-Off, I miss you, man. You didn't pop in. But I will be back next Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here. I'm currently in negotiations for something big. I'll keep y'all posted on it. But I don't want to tell nobody because, y'all like to run down the street and tell people business. And I ain't going to tell y'all right now. But hopefully Phil will be involved in this. And I'll tell you this, we are putting together in Orlando, Central Florida, a live, outside of the studio, 2-hour Don Miller show. I'm trying to get it done where we will broadcast live with a live audience. So you're going to hear about it. I've talked to some of my sponsors who think that's a wonderful idea, but they're going to give me some money. They talk. Talk is cheap now. It's time to get the dollars. I need some dollars. Help a brother out. So we're putting together that so we can interact with the audience. But we love you so much. It's time to go. I got a long ride home, and it's time to engage in the lively art of conversation while smoking a cigar and probably drinking that lovely and talented Monkey Shoulder. Bye-bye, everybody.